Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on with me today. We are going to go over some amazing ideas today. You might have heard of the book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And so there's a lot of good stuff that he shares in that book, and it's wonderful. But I went ahead and took that idea and I changed it to the 7 habits of highly ineffective people. And we're going to go through some of the things that we should not be doing, right? Because I think we've all read the 7 habits, right? We know that, and we could do a future training on that. But today we're going to do the 7 habits of highly ineffective people, right? We're going to be, we're going to try and not be like Mr. Homer Simpson here. And we're going to, find out what people do that we should not be emulating. All right. So this will be a little bit fun today. All right. So the first thing, I want to share is I have a simple philosophy in life I've learned from people much smarter than me. And that is to watch the people you don't want to be like and then do the opposite of what they do, right? So I'm not trying to be a jerk, right? But I have more than enough examples to last a million lifetimes of people doing stupid stuff. So let's call us Beta Spade, right? Masses of men and women are highly ineffective. I think they're good people with good hearts, but I don't want to be like them, okay? Being like them was always one of my biggest fears. So let's look at the first habit of people that are highly ineffective. So Nassim Taleb said, to be completely cured of newspapers, spend a year reading the previous week's newspapers, right? So let's not focus on the fake clown show. Let's not do that. Anyone who says they want to stay informed is an ineffective person. And they're also ill-informed because the news is a massive psyop designed to misinform. If you had a ton of positive things going on in your life, your career, your business, your health, your networking, you wouldn't have time to be obsessed with the news. I don't even avoid the news on purpose anymore. It's so far down the list of my priorities that it might as well not even exist. The effectiveness equation makes no sense. Where is your focus more effective? Focusing on changing yourself as an individual or trying to change the world, right? Not only is it not useful to be obsessed with the news and the mainstream media, but it's also counterproductive and it sucks your energy. War, rape, kids dying, shooting, stabbing, political fighting, all that stuff. How could you be in an effective go-getter mood if you spend a bunch of time focused on subjects like these? The important stuff will get to you, trust me. Focus on yourself, okay? Don't worry about all that stuff, right? Ooh, gas prices are going up. Well, you know what? If you're making $1 million, it doesn't matter, okay? So don't worry about it. The world's not going to end, right? Or if it is, okay, yeah, you'll find out about it. But all the little stuff, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just you waste your time on all that stuff because there's nothing really we can do about it anyway, right? So focus on ourselves and focus on our development and helping other people to protect themselves and get financially free and all of that. And then all the bad stuff won't matter, okay? Or then we can actually go out and try and make the world a better place by volunteering and and doing service and whatnot, right? That's what it's all about. So let's stop focusing on the fake clown show and focus on what really matters. All right, the second thing is focusing on the wrong parts of projects, right? Austin Kleon said, let go of the thing that you're trying to be, the noun, and focus on the actual work you need to be doing, the verb. There are 2 ways to go about projects like writing, shooting YouTube videos, starting a business, whatever it may be, all right? First, person A focuses on window dressing. They need to have their blog perfectly set up and designed before they start writing. They need an expensive camera and lighting setup to start their YouTube channel. Instead of looking for customers for their business, they buy business cards. They set up their LLC, even though they're making no money, and they add CEO to their Twitter bio. But person B gets cheap hosting for their blog, has it set up in hours, and starts writing. When I started my YouTube channel, I just opened my laptop, and I started shooting videos on my normal webcam. If you want to start a business right now, you could instantly jump on LinkedIn and start pitching people. Person B always wins. Entire businesses have been built on scouring LinkedIn, setting up simple landing pages, blogs, and online stores. No need for the fancy window dressing to be successful. I notice often that people who are beginners at something but have good production and packaging almost always fail. Perfectionists get the least traction. Those who dive in and just do it tend to win. Okay. So don't hesitate. Don't be person A. No. All right. The third thing of ineffective people is they worry about dumb stuff. Right. Mark Angel said, remember, you alone get to choose what matters and what doesn't. The meaning of everything in your life has precisely the meaning you give it. Oh, you're too short. Oh, you're too tall. You have no money. Your parents didn't hug you enough. You don't have the resources and network to be successful. You're any other category than a white male. You feel unfairly chastised for being a white male. You're left-handed. You live in a small town. You have a rare toe disease. Everything's an excuse, right? Everyone has a sob story or something to complain about. The world is unfair to you in some unique way, so unique that no one has ever experienced anything similar to your situation at all. Look, I know you feel like your situation is unique, but it's not. Okay. I know you feel like some immutable characteristic you have is holding you back. It's not. So what if you start behind others on your race in this life? Are you just going to quit? I have a little joke I tell when people complain to me about their super unique situation. I tell them, oh, yeah, you're right. Just quit. I don't know what to tell you. That joking response is the only appropriate response to those feelings because you're fine and you can do it. It's 2021, 2022. Thanks to internet access, the playing field is more than level enough. Stop listening to the Snowflake Brigade. Yeah, I said it. Win regardless of your situation. Okay. Fourth thing that ineffective people do, fall in love with the muse, right? So Stephen Pressfield said, the sure sign of an amateur is he has a million plans and they all start tomorrow. So what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. It literally is the everyday consistency. Once you understand that life is a game of momentum, you'll understand how to be successful. Stopping and starting all the time only makes you ineffective, but it makes it harder to start each time. I see this with writers all the time. They wait for inspiration to strike. Sometimes it does, and they do write something amazing, but then they take a long break only to find they can't replicate that success. Almost everything in life can be analogized to the gym, right? You could work out every day for a year. You stop working out for a few months, and you lose a bunch of that progress, right? So sure, you retain some, but you can't lift the same weights you used to be able to when you start again. So I talk about finding your strengths ad absurdum for a reason. The more you like something and the more talent you have, right, that it's more likely you're going to stick with it. So I've had success with networking for one simple reason. I never stopped. People who start and stop all the time are like people who buy and sell investments because the price goes up and down. Great investors buy and hold. Maybe you're like I used to be. You have a ton of ideas, hobbies, and projects. You try them on and off for a couple of weeks or months at a time, but nothing sticks. Living like this causes frustration and makes you never want to stick with anything. You build an identity as a person who never sticks with anything, but you can break out. Make it 90 days first, doing your thing daily, then 6 months, then a year. And after 24 months, you're unlikely to ever quit. Okay, the fifth one. This might be the worst one. Marcus Aurelius said, how much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks. So one thing I've noticed is how much people bond or even get upset over the accomplishment of other people. In conversation, they talk about their favorite sports team, their TV show, their movies, their restaurants, whatever, things other people worked hard to create and perform. Or on the negative, they'll hate on people they don't even know. I love using the Kardashians as a Rorschach test. If you have too strong an opinion on them, you're weird. Why do you care what they're doing? This theme about overly caring about what other people do works both macro and micro, from celebrities to gossiping about people you know as in real life. Similarly to what I said about the news, I just don't have the energy to prioritize what other people are doing. I'm not trying to not care. I just don't care by default as a byproduct of focusing on my own mission, right? Focusing on what others are doing distorts your view of reality. From envying people who curate the best of their lives on social media to wishing you got the same lucky breaks as others, to even something seemingly positive like identifying too heavily with your favorite celeb or sports team. You're sending subconscious signals that your own life is of the least importance. Notice the theme here? The more you focus on yourself, your mission, your habits, your outcomes, etc., you don't even have to try to stop being ineffective. It just happens. Okay. Sixth thing, have fun, right? Work hard, have fun, make a difference. A certain level of escapism is good and necessary, of course. After a long day, when my brain is engaged, I'm stressed over piecing together the moving parts of a project, and I just don't have any creativity left. So I'll zone out with some TV or whatever, right? I'll go out with the family, okay? We go to the movies or we go bowling, plenty of other normal activities. I'm not a self-improvement robot. I make time for fun and for purposeful escapism. So what's the difference between my escapism and the escapism of most people? Well, most people use escapism constantly because they can't handle their lives. They use it as a coping mechanism. If you have to do a certain activity, then you're a slave to it, right? If you have to go out and drink every weekend and you're above the age 25, you have some emotional issues to deal with. Watching TV from the second you get home until you go to bed every single day is a sign that you're trying to numb yourself enough to make it to the next day. It's never the activities in and of themselves, but the reason you're doing them. I used to hedge and not allude to the idea that people are using escapism to run the clock out on life, but this is exactly what they're doing. Your behavior tells me everything I need to know about you. You can tell me you're happy and content all you want, but the things you actually do make it obvious whether or not that's true. Again, I never actively tried to reduce these activities. The mission supersedes them. Okay, last thing. Seventh ineffective habit. You tell yourself the biggest lie ever. The overarching theme here is this. Ineffective people don't just admit when they want what they want from life and decide to go get it. They lie to themselves. Here's the thing about lying to yourself, though. As much as you're able to bury your dreams in the recesses of your soul, you still know they're there. And the more you try to repress your feelings, the worse off you'll be. Society is so messed up simply because people are lying to themselves. That frustrated energy has to go somewhere, and you see it manifest in many ways. Some quite nasty. You know what you want to do with your life deep down, but you're just not doing it. Ineffective people think they think themselves into insanity and build this gigantic pile of rationalizations to cope with life. I'm content. No, you're not. I can smell the discontentment on you from across the computer screen. I don't need to insert your desire goal there. No, you don't need to, but you want to. I have a good family or friends, a roof over my head. Yeah, most people do. You don't get points for that. There's nothing impressive about that. This is about you. I don't know you personally, but I'm pretty good at reflecting your emotions back at you. Why? Because we're mostly the same. We mostly have the same basic dreams, and most of us are ineffective at getting them. Why? Because we're stifled, repressed, and afraid. I see all of this creative energy in people, but it's locked up. We live in a culture where you're shamed for wanting to crawl out of the crab bucket. My life got infinitely better when I decided I wasn't going to let the opinions of crabs hold me back from doing what I want to do. I want to build wealth, have tons of fans, travel the world, find spiritual enlightenment, and make my local community better. Develop an elite level network and relationships, and a list a mile long of other goals. Not only do I want these things, but I'm going to tell you all of them without an ounce of shame. Not only is it okay to want to win, It's the prerequisite to winning. You have to decide to live a better life. Once you do, you'll be more effective than you could ever imagine. So, my friends, let's do this. Let's not be like these people that do the 7 habits of highly ineffectiveness, right? Let's go out and do the opposite. Let's change our lives. Let's go ahead and apply all these things so that we can be the most successful we can be, right? No more clown show, no more wasting time, no more lying to ourselves. Let's go out and get it. So with that, I'll let you get back to your Saturdays. Thanks for jumping on today. I appreciate all of you, and we will see you next week for the next training. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.